Introduction to Microsoft. Introduction to Microsoft Excel. We're going to be talking about rows, columns, and cells, and everything in between. We're going to be talking about some handy shortcuts in Excel. We're going to be talking about inserting, deleting rows and columns. We're going to be talking about hiding, unhiding rows and columns. We're going to be talking about moving, copying in Excel. We're going to be talking about finding and replacing values in Excel. Pretty packed. So I would like us to just, I think last week we mentioned that we're going to have a prerequisite in which we're going to all have Excel, a workable Excel installed on our computers for those of us that want to like walk along. And I have no issues. If you have any questions, I have no issues with you calling me back or asking more questions if you do not understand. And if I don't have the answer, I will definitely go back, research, and get you a proper answer. There is no any harm in asking me over and over and over again if you do not understand, because there's no use me trying to explain if you do not understand and I'm moving forward. The entire concept is for you to gain something from this, and we both gain, we all gain one way or the other. So I have no issues with it. So please free, ask me as many questions as you can. This is what we're going to be going over. So we're definitely going to start with our Excel. Wait, can you see my screen? What can you see?
Yes, you can see your screen.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
I think mode 1 and mode 2.
Please, can you see my Excel?
It's coming up, sir, but not yet. Yes, we can see it now, sir.
It typically starts with a blank workbook. A blank workbook. We have our empty workbook with on the y-axis, as we typically call it. We have the letters that help us to map which cell we are on, and on the y-axis we actually have the numbers, and with the letters and the numbers, it helps us to map the exact location of our cell. This is what you call a cell. Just the white space that looks like a box is a cell. Why on these are your columns and these are your rows. Those of us that have experience, but if it's your first time, this is what you call the columns. The columns, the A, B, C, these are your columns, and your 1, 2, 3 are your typical rows. So for you to be able, let's imagine that we are currently on this column. For us to be able to know the exact column we are in, we first check what letter are we on. We're on letter G, and we reference it to the row that we are based on the number. It tells us that we are on row 4. Everyone see it?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir. Yes,
if thank you. So if you're confused, yeah, you can always check here for where you're currently are. It gives you a location mapping of what your cell is. It tells you that you're on cell D4, D for the column and 4 for the rows. It tells you where you exactly are. And if you move to L, it changes to L4. If you move to 19, it tells you. So if you can basically move as much as you want. Even though I do say that Excel has limits, once the number of records start going past 1 million and all, it starts lagging. It can handle it for its own fair share, but it starts lagging overall. It starts giving you some issues. And I would like to go back before we start jumping and explaining what Excel is. I would like to bring us back and try to relate it to what we are doing, because in part we are all data analysts. Whether you say you're an enthusiast, you're a beginner, you have to picture yourself as a data analyst. You have to ask yourself, what is Excel to you as a data analyst? Because Excel is not just for data analysis. It's cut across different facets of business. The accountants use it, financial advisors use it, finance professionals use it, data entry clerks use it. If as a person, you can basically use it as your to create your to-do list. So if you want to go shopping, you can basically use it to make an item list. Like you can just come over here and just say, okay, if you're going to just write, you can just write, and you can just put it as just write, and you can enter and say that, okay, I want to buy eggs, I want to buy seasoning cubes. So everything you need, you can basically just use it. That is why the usage of Excel cuts across so many facets of human.
Please continue.
Can I go on?
I'm muting everybody, guys.
Yeah, so it cuts across different. Yeah, so it cuts across different facets of human careers. But you have to understand as a data analyst that no matter how much, especially in Nigeria, as a data analyst in Nigeria, no matter how big the job description is, tell you, oh, we're going to use SQL, we're going to build this, we're going to build that. Data usage in Nigeria is still in its nascent form. I'm saying we are still very, very new to the whole data culture. We are not so big. We are not so developed data-wise. So when other people in other countries are into big data, the amount of data they are stored is in petabytes and all. We are still most companies for the best part, no matter how big they do not use data that much. So the usage of since their data is not that much, Excel is still widely used in a lot of companies in Nigeria. No matter what, even though when you are doing their interviews, they put very, very wicked amount of tools you need to learn. In the end, you just might get there, and their biggest form of data usage is in Excel, because you can get there and you find out that, oh, your CEO just wants to see a table of what you've analyzed, a snapshot of what the business currently pulls. So it's a very, very integral skill for you to have. If it's not Excel, you can leverage Google Sheets. They are very, very similar, just a few differences. Because Excel, you can have it on your local machine. Google, you can actually enjoy Google in its online form. Excel also has an online form, but when it comes to online usage, I do prefer Google Sheets. It's very, very intuitive and it's perfect for online usage. So, enough of my ramblings. Let me just explain some of the parts of Excel you should know. So we come here. This is our ribbon. This is what we call our ribbon. The ribbon contains a lot of functionalities, a lot of buttons that we should be conversant about. It doesn't mean that we should. It doesn't mean that it's hard for us to understand. It's just that we just need to spend more time. The more you use it, the more you get more and more familiar with some of all these things. Over here, it takes you to the file. You can be able to check whatever you want to check. Over here is our home. It allows us to access everything here that we currently see on our ribbon. This is everything that is currently on our ribbon. Here we can paste it manually. Whatever we copy, you can paste it manually. We can cut it. We can also copy it. Over here is command painter. So if I change this name to let's use Benga's name, and we change it to Benga, and over here we decide that we want to bolden it, and let's imagine that we want to make it red. And over here we have what names do we have here? Can I get any shouts for names? That's okay. We have Sandra, and we have Sandra. We decide that, okay, we want the same thing for Sandra. We can just come over here and we can come over here and we paste it, and Sandra gets everything that we've applied to without us having to do the same thing. So if you've done so many things for multiple rows, you can just highlight it, copy it, and paste that same format on another row without having to perform the amount of actions you've done to create that formatting structure. So that is that for that. It's on this part of our ribbon under homes. Over here is for whatever we type on our cells. We can either bolding it, you can make it italic. Like now, if we highlight Sandra now, we can make it Sandra italic. We can underline it. We can decide that, okay, we want to double underline it. So this is what we can do here. Over here is where we select our fonts, no matter the font that we want, different fonts. It all depends on our use case. Most times in data, we might not need to do all these things, but it's good for us to understand what it is. And for those of us that have experience with Word, this is very, very similar. These are your fonts. This is the sizes. This is the color of your font. Why this is the color. This is the color. If you want to highlight, if you want to change this cell, the cell is currently white, you can decide that we want to change it to red. You can decide that we want to change it to black, and that specific use cases where we want to do that. So it's good for us to understand these parts. And the beautiful thing about Excel is that if you remember something and you're trying to be certain, all you need to do is to hover your mouse to the particular button on your ribbon, and it's going to give you a short text on what it means. It
Hello,
tells
sorry,
you that can you hear me? I can hear you.
people are saying that since they can't see what you are doing,
I see what I'm doing.
I'm telling you, maybe you need to share your screen again.
Okay.
I'm
very, very sorry, everyone.
But I was thinking maybe maybe you were just doing some theory parts. That's why I didn't say anything since.
Okay. Let me just
please reshare your screen again.
Let me know once you can see my screen. And tell me what you can see.
Imagine you can see your screen just now.
Okay, let me. Did you guys see this Just Right eggs or super cubes, seasoning cubes? You guys see it? No?
Yes, I can see your screen now.
Okay. So where did you guys? What was the last thing you guys saw? Hello? Okay. When are you there?
I'm here. I can see your screen. Your screen is clear now.
Yeah,
I was
asking what was the last thing you guys saw?
We saw one where you wrote Benga and something. The other cell is a black cell like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I was emphasizing was that over here is what you call your format painter. It allows you to duplicate whatever format or whatever formatting actions you've carried out on a particular cell. You can just take it and apply it automatically on another cell or group of cells. And this is what I'm trying to say. So eventually we have a name called Benga. And for this Benga, we've bolded it. We've actually italicized it. We've decided that we want to double underline it, and we want the color of the letterings to be blue. But now we have another name that we want to also add, which is Sandra. which is Sandra. But we don't want to do all these things we've done on Benga on Sandra repeating, because what if we have records of, let's say, 10,000 long? Are we going to do it one after the other? All we need to do is to go here and click on this, then come here, this particular cell which we've imputed Sandra, and we just click on it. All we need to do is I'll move our mouse to this and click on this, then move to where we want to apply that format and click on it. Automatically applies it for us. Did we all get that? I do not mind, you can, I can always take it again if we do not understand. I'm taking the silence as we all got that part. So for those parts of the ribbon that we do not understand, we just need to just move our mouse cursor over it, and it gives us a short description of what that particular button on that ribbon does. Over here, it tells us that it centers your content. So if peradventure, over here, it tells us that it aligns it. Either it's going to align this, aligns it with an angle, turns it vertical, or we can rotate it up, we can rotate it back. You all get that? So if we have an idea of what we want to do, we can just hover through our ribbon until we finally get to what we want to do. So for those of us that have a bit of experience with using Word documents, we're going to find out that some of it, since it's a Microsoft tool, there are some similarities overall in some of the buttons on the ribbons. And we can also scroll past this, we can see where we can be able to pick and select the type of data we want, which is data type that we want to. This is general, it automatically gets it for us. We want to specify it by ourselves by insisting that it's going to be a number or it's going to be a currency. Let me give an example. Let's imagine we have 100,000 over here, and here we want to specify it as a number. So it automatically renders that number to 2 decimal places. But even though it renders it at 2 decimal places, we can actually either increase it or reduce the number of decimal places that we've applied by hovering over here, just under the number. It tells us either we want to increase the decimal, we want to decrease the decimal, or we want to put comma style of 1,000 separator under it, or want to convert it to percentage. We want to emphasize that this is a currency. We can decide. For those of us, we can actually, it's not only limited to only dollar. We can actually specify the currency that we want by insisting that, okay, we want more accounting format, and we can decide that, okay, we want more, and we can decide that, okay, we want to see Naira. Naira is also there, so it's not as if we can also go here and just pick. Whether you are selecting Kanuri, Yoruba, Edo, it's all Naira, irrespective of which one you pick. It's all Naira. It doesn't have any differences. You can just select it and it automatically changes it to how typical currency looks like with 1,000 separator and 2 decimal places. So Excel allows you to do click and change. It is the perfect data analysis clicking tool. You just click and change it. This is what they call, this is before the old no code, this is the no code before no code came around when it comes to respect to data analysis. All you need to do is just to click and change whatever you want to change. So going forward, you can also format whatever you want to do. You can format as a table. So if we have a number of records, we're trying to specify, we have records for students in a class. We have some names. And we have Sharon, we have Benga, we have Michael, we have Ose. We can decide that, okay, we have scores, which is 50, 60, 40, and 30. And we can decide that, okay, for these names and scores, we want to change it to look like a table. We can decide that any format we want. It's going to be a light format. We can specify that, okay, it has our table has this in headers, and these headers allows us to be able to filter between each of the values we have in that table based on the records, the unique records we have in that row. Please, if you don't have any questions, please, Benga, please, can you unmute them so just in case they have any questions, so I can always like just take it back. So I will know if I'm going too fast or I'm going too slow, and I just speed it up. If
it's because of the background noise, so that was why I had to.
No, you can just give them about 30 seconds to decide if they have questions, or you can just mute everyone.
Background is very noisy.
Oh, okay.
I'm coming. Let me just allow everybody if they want to unmute themselves, no problem. Okay, people can unmute themselves now.
So I'll just, in case I'm going too fast or you guys are not getting, you can just like take it back again.
But please, let's make sure that if your background is very noisy, please just mute yourself, please.
Please, am I good?
Yeah, you are good. Please continue. Thank you.
Okay. So the next agenda on our list is shortcuts in Excel, yeah? So in Excel, there are some pertinent shortcuts, and some of the shortcuts for those of us that have used Word documents or used some documenting tool, they are very, very similar. Some cut across it, like our usual Control-C, Control-V is for us to copy and paste. And if you want to like move it out, you can use your Control-X, and where you have to move to where you want to highlight that particular cell where you want it to, and you press your Control-V. But that Control-V, you can decide that, okay, you're not so good with shortcuts. One thing about Excel is that shortcut does not replace the actual functionality. Anything you can do with shortcuts, you can actually do it with somewhere in the Excel ribbon. It is somewhere on the Excel ribbon. So if you want to cut this, want to move this, you can just take your cursor and move it towards the clipboard part of your ribbon, the clipboard part, and you can just cut it. And you can move to wherever you want to. You want to move that particular value to. Then you want to move it to cell A18, and you can just come here. You can just copy and copy, Control-C it, which is copy. I can decide that, okay, you want to paste it, which is this, and you paste it. It automatically comes there. For those of us that don't want to go through the ribbon, Excel also gives you another form option. You can also decide to right click. When you right click, it gives you this short ribbon. This short ribbon that gives you some small functionality with respect to things you can do with that particular cell. You can decide to cut it, decide to copy it. I copy it and I move to this place, as my options are going to change. I can decide to now paste it. And my pasting options comes with a variety of options. I can decide to paste it regularly, in which it copies it exactly as it is in that particular cell. Decide to paste only the formula. Decide to paste it with no borders. Decide to paste only the value, meaning that once you paste it, any formatting you've done prior is going to be gone. You are pasting the value as it is when you entered it without applying any serere to it. Pardon my use of the lingua, but you are not using it with any attachment or any action you've added to it. So if we paste this Sandra, you can see that Sandra comes in without it being bolding, without the italics, and without the double underline, and also the color, the font color we apply to it. So it comes in as it is. Anything you're trying to do, you can leverage the shortcuts, and there are numerous shortcuts. And for us to go through the shortcuts, there are so many of them. There which it just makes your life easier when you're using Excel. It allows you to highlight columns, change font colors. Some of the um, some of the some of our Excel shortcuts are these, and they're not all limited to these. There are so many. You can research them as much as you can. You can practice them. A lot of them you might not use in your day-to-day, but you just based on your day-to-day. If you're someone that has to do a lot of data entry, then Control C, Control V is going to be your friend. If you are someone that you ask to do a lot of table design, then your formatting shortcuts is going to be your friend. If you need to alter numbers format, then you and Control 1 is going to be 5 and 6 because you use it to change your format for your type, for your data types. It makes it very, very easy for you. So you are free to go and research, and based on your use case. It's no use for you to cram up 150 shortcuts, 200 shortcuts. No one will ask you. What they're going to all care about is, can you do the job? And whether you're using your ribbon to do the job or using shortcut to do the job, nobody cares as long as you can do the job as at when it is needed. So it's all about your use case and your preferred method or your preferred way of using Excel. So if you're someone that likes shortcuts, then feel free to research as much shortcuts you can. Once you go to Google and search it, it's going to be very, very easy for you to find as much as you can.
Yeah, sorry, Jacob.
Yeah.
I have a material I'm going to share on the group that has like some very nice shortcut that they can use. So they can use that to practice more. Yes, I have a presentation I did on shortcuts.
Yeah.
So I will share it with them after the class.
Oh, perfect. Because shortcuts is something that you have to keep on using it, and once you start using it for your day-to-day, you just notice that you're just holding on to specific number of shortcuts that make your particular work very, very easy. You might not end up using 150 shortcuts. There might be 10 that you love so much that makes it easier for you. It might be just 5, it might just be just 3, it might be 20, it might be 50, and you might be so good that you are using the entire total collection of Microsoft provided shortcuts. It all depends on how your specific use case. I'm a very, very good fan of the hot shortcut because it allows me to just go through my ribbons very, very fast. But I won't tell you that you have to cram it. It's one thing I've always emphasized when it comes to using tools, and tools are just tools. It all depends on your use case. You have to use the tool to better suit your use case. A good tool in the hand of a bad user is a bad tool. So it's just based on your use case, and you have to understand what you can do instead of cramming up or trying to put everything in your head. You have to go and understand how it can make it easier for the particular use case you're trying to do. So if that is all and no one has a question, and if you have a question, please feel free to put it in the chat. Let me go through the chat and check if there are any questions. There are any questions? Oh, okay. Is my background okay? Or is there anything I should change? Benga?
It's a little bit noisy. I don't know if everybody noticed that, like a little.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me try to reduce it.
Okay.
Okay, is it better now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So is there anybody with any kind of question? So we are on topic what now?
We are currently on 5. We've done 6. We've done 6. We've done 6. We're on 4. We want to do 4, 5, and 7 now. 4, 5, and 7.
So this is what I will
deleting
do.
rows and columns.
For 5, 6, and 7, I have some sample Excel files.
Okay.
That people can use for coming. Just hold on for me, please. Let me just share the folder. Microsoft Excel. Yes, so I shared the Excel files on the group. People can go there, download. They can use that for the class, like use that to practice for the class. Yeah.
Okay. Should I use that? Should I use that to teach, or should I just go ahead?
You can use that to teach also, yes. So the just hold on. For topic 7, the find and replace.
Yeah.
I have a file name find. So guys, you can go back to the group. You can go back to the group and download. Okay, let me just share them here too. And download.
What's the group name again?
Okay, are you on the group? You are not there.
So. I don't think so.
Are you serious? Okay, I shared it on the chat session too.
Okay, let me check.
Oh, I shared it on that person entirely. Oh my god. Let me reshare again. Okay, you can check it now. So I shared find and replace, data cleaning, freezing pane, ID on ID, inserting and deleting some function, trim and concatenate. I shared all that. Please let me know if you have seen it.
Find and replace.
If you are not on the group, please, I will share the group link with us now on the chat station. You can join the group.
Find and replace.
Please, I pasted the group link, the WhatsApp group link, so you can join if you are not there yet.
Yeah, for the group, just send it to me directly. I'm using my laptop, so I'm obviously.
Okay.
So let me share again. Let me share again.
I will send it to you.
Yeah, let me access it. So the first one we're doing is, what we're working on is okay, inserting, deleting rows and columns.
You can start with find and replace.
Okay, find and replace. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let me share my screen. Let me know once you can see my screen, please. You can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, please. Is everyone also here? This is the find and replace file that Benga shared.
Please let us know if you opened the file before we continue.
Just let me know if everyone has. Just send an, if you've opened it, just send an H on the group. So just send. Okay. Anyone that hasn't done it, should just send a Y. So we'll
Just
wait
keep
on the
going, just
person
keep
is done.
going. Don't worry, we are recording.
Okay.
Go to the YouTube page and go and watch. We don't have much
Okay.
time.
Okay,
You can't be waiting for everybody. Yeah.
For this, we're going to leverage one of the shortcuts, one of my favorite shortcuts. So you can see that some of these values, these cells, you can see that we are seeing some multiple hashes. It doesn't mean that there's no data there. It just means that either there you cannot just see it because either the rows are too small. What you need to do is to leverage one of my favorite shortcuts, which is we highlight everything with Control Shift right arrow for you to write the Control Shift right arrow allows you to highlight from where you are to where your values of rows stops. And it's once you highlight that, you can still hold on to the Control Shift and go down. It allows you to highlight all your records. You can decide to go back up, press your Control Shift and move to the left. It takes you back to where you currently start, your first cell in which you highlight. It's best for you to highlight it from. You can decide to. Some of us we can decide to just do Control A, which is Control Highlight All. But I do prefer to use my Control Shift and my arrow keys so I can be able to see where it stops. I can be able to select it. If you use your Shift, it allows you to select it one after the other. Once you hold the Shift and your direction keys, either your down, left, right, left or right, down or up, it allows you to select it. So from this we can be able to just Control A. We can Alt HOI. It tells us to spread everything, and we can be able to see every value. We don't have any more hash. I'll take it again. We just want to highlight everything. You hold on to your Alt key, which is your ALT key, your Alt key, and you can see that once you hold your Alt key, it highlights the shortcut for everything on your ribbon. And once we go to our HO, highlight everything out. And if you have some modeled rows, you can just hold on to your Alt and leverage your Alt. Let me write it down so you can be able to see it. So it's your Alt key plus your H plus your O plus your I, HOI. But if you want to use your rows you're trying to adjust, you can just leverage your HOA. That is just it. So for this, once we highlight it and we are trying to, we can just always reference another shortcut, which is our Control H. The Control H also allows us to find and replace. Over here, we can be able to just find. If we are trying to find, let's say we are trying to find a name called tree. We are trying to highlight it within this sheet. And we're trying to search by rows. We can decide that, okay, we want to search by column, or we want to look in the formula, but we can just, the default is also always by rows. We can decide that, okay, we want to match the specific case. I want to match the entire cell content, meaning that, okay, the entire cell's current content must be correct, must be exact. Do you understand? It must be exact. So those are some of the conditions we can emphasize when we're trying to find. But the find options allows us to just find it and highlight it, and we can decide to just find all. You can see that there is only one cell with anything tree. Once we did not match the entire cell content, it means that if there is a pair tree fin, it's going to also show it. But once we highlight the entire cell content, it must be exactly the same thing, must be exactly that. So those are some of the limitations, some of the constraints that we need to be setting off when we are trying to check it. So if we highlight our Control H again, we can check it again, and we can just say, okay, we want to replace anywhere there is a Petri. I want to replace it by a Peter. We can say, okay, we want to find all, and it tells us this is the only way you can see Peter, and we can say that I want to replace all. And we can see that it has made only one replacement. And we can see that even though we've not highlighted it, it tells us that where P was before, Peter is now there. And we can say that, okay, we want to control H again. I want to change wherever we spoke before. I want to change it back to 3. And we can say that, okay, we have multiple. Replacing all is only it's only encouraged when we know the amount of changes that we want to make. If we are not sure, if we have rows of 1 million rows or 100,000 rows, we're not even exactly sure. It's best we should just first find all and go through them one after the other to be certain, and we replace one after the other. Because once we replace all, it makes all the changes. I won't be able to track where it's made all these changes. So it's best we do it one after the other. It makes it easier for us to know where the issue was, and we can always go back in case there's an oversight, in case there is a value that is similar, but we don't want to change. So if we want to change where there is a Peter Robin, or there's a Peter, I don't want to change where there's a Peter Robinson, we can also specify all those kind of limitations and just check it one after the other. Or there might be a Peter Robin in the address, or there's a Peter Robin in the seller, as opposed to want to just change it for only the customer. So we have to ensure when it comes to data analysis, we have to be certain, because data analysis is not about just changing data, it's about ensuring that the integrity of that data, it is well kept true to source. We have to ensure that integrity of data is very, very important, because one of the data analysis is that once there is an issue with your data, your analysis is already flawed from, no matter what beautiful analysis you do, no matter what statistical studies you did or what formula you leveraged, it is already flawed from the get-go. So from this, we can decide that, okay, we want to change retirement not due to just retirement, or want to just change it to retirement home. So you can just emphasize that same shortcut. If you don't want to use the shortcut, there is a beautiful part of Excel that we haven't spoken so much of. We haven't spoken so much of, which is
Your line is breaking. I'm not hearing completely.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So you can always leverage this search bar for you to find anything you're trying to do. Maybe you're trying to find, you can always get whatever you're trying to do by either clicking it here and just open it up for you. So Excel has that functionality for anybody that's trying to check. If you're trying to replace, you can just go here and just pick whatever you want to pick, and it's basically the same thing we've done with the shortcut. It allows us to leverage whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
Why are we using the find and replace? What is the importance, please? I can't get it.
Okay, yeah. Let's imagine that you have rows, you have 100,000 rows, or you have this number of rows here, and let's imagine that you want to change. When you're trying to check it, and you said that, okay, there is a mistake in this data. It is not meant to be retirement not due. It is meant to be, let's say, it is meant to be the retirement home. So you cannot decide that, okay, you want to start changing it one after the other. You go here and you change it to retirement home. You go to the next one, you change it to retirement home. It's easier for you to do it if it's just three rows you want to change. But if you have rows upon rows, and the rows are not they're not one after the other, you might see 3 here, then another value that you want to keep as it is, you might go here, you want to change 7 here, keep here, you want to change 8 here, keep here, you want to change. You cannot keep on doing this thing manually. The find and replace allows you to do all these changes you want to do with just only one push of the button, edit it one place, and it changes everything automatically without having to do it manually over and over again. It's easier for you to do it here if it's just 42 different rows. But what if it's 100,000? Are you going to do it one after the other? So the find and replace allows you to check, and if let's imagine you're trying to check this, you're trying to make this change, and you have multiple columns. Let's say you have over 30 columns. Are you going to start having to check through all these columns for it to make these changes? This find and replace allows you to look at your data, notice the error, and programmatically or use leveraging a function or a button in Excel. In Excel, it allows you to make that changes just in one place without having to go over rows and rows and rows. And in that rows, when you're trying to do the data entry manually, you can end up making mistakes because one of the biggest issues in data is entry errors. Someone is meant to put home and the person puts homes. Someone is meant to put home, he puts homers. And when you're trying to do analysis, you're trying to do your categorical analysis, it sees it as a different entity on its own. The computer is said to be it makes your work easier. But one thing about the computer is that if you put in wrong data, it's not going to change. Doesn't know what you want, what is in your mind, what you're trying to enter. It just bring and generate output whatever you input. If you input nonsense, it's going to output nonsense. So find and replace allows you to make changes without having to go over it manually. It allows you to just make the changes at one spot and it reflects. Even if you have 50,000 rows you want to change, it's going to change everything at just one click of you changing or you just pressing replace all. It's going to change everything. So it makes your work faster, easier, and less error. So because you're entering it in just one place, you can take your time and input the right thing, and it's going to ensure that thing cascades into your 50,000 changes. Did that explain your question? Did that answer your question, or should I go over it again?
Yes. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the feedback. So for this, it allows us to make, like I said before, it allows us to make changes, and it allows us to limit the amount of data entry errors we can inadvertently make, because once you're a human, we are all prone to errors, either because of workload, stress, or we're just not concentrating at that particular time. So it allows us to limit the amount of errors we make, because whatever error you make, you're just making it once, and it's going to be consistent all through. So if you make a spelling error on this home, it's not going to be home here, homes here, homa here. No, it's just if there's a mistake in that retirement home, it is just one and it cascades all through. So if you change it again, it's the same error and you've changed it perfectly this time around. So it's faster and it's much more intuitive, and it's much more encouraged when you are using it for data analysis and whatever usage you're trying to do in Excel. So this last one was the last topic. The last topic we're going to be taking today is hiding and unhiding rows. We don't need to use the same sheets. All we need to do is to just highlight it. Like I said, we can always leverage our right-clicking. We can right-click it, and we can decide that, okay, we want to hide this, and it is hidden. It is not deleted. You can see if you check it here, you can see once we hide something, it just shows us that there is something here. If you check your letterings, it is A, B, C, D. F has appeared. If we go to D again and we hide D, D disappears and it moves from E to H. It shows that there are two columns that are hidden here. So we can decide that, okay, we want to unhide it. We can just go back to one of the things and we can unhide them. Sorry.
Please, we can't hear you.
You hear me?
No, we can't hear you.
Let me. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So what's the issue?
We can't hear anymore.
Can't hear. You can't hear him again.
Okay, I'm guessing. I guess it's the network. He has joined back. Teku, are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello.
Hello.
So
Hello,
I
sir.
think his network is still having issue.
Yeah.
But I have a question, sir.
Okay, please ask.
Okay, so I noticed that when we are trying to hide rows, for instance, if I use, okay, like in this set of data, this data set you gave us, if I, from the G row, if I'm
Okay.
to use Control Shift and copy all the remaining what we call it now, rows and columns that are not filled,
Can you share
I
your
can
screen and show me
hide
what you're
those
saying?
ones.
Can
But
you share
when
your
I
screen?
go under,
Hello.
okay, I'm using my phone for the yes, sir. I'm using my phone for the Zoom and I'm using my laptop.
Okay, let me see if I can share my screen.
So I might not be able to share my screen.
Let me share my screen. Just hold on. Can you see my screen now?
No, cannot.
Just a moment, sir.
Yes.
Not yet, sir.
Can anyone see my
Yes.
screen?
Yes.
Yes.
I can't.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Maybe it's your network.
Maybe the net. Yes. I can
Your
see your
screen is
screen.
visible now, sir.
Okay, yeah. Continue with your questions. Hello, you can continue with your questions.
I think maybe it's not there again. Okay.
Okay. Is there anybody with any questions? This network is causing a real issue.
Okay. My question is that
Yes,
the
I have
number.
question.
Okay, let's ask. Let the first person ask this. Continue.
Okay. Let me ask my own question, sir.
Please ask your question. Please go on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That
Just be
the
fast,
first
because
one
of
that
time.
is showing, ash. That one that we use the ALT plus H plus O. I don't understand that one very well. Therefore, with the E.
Okay, you mean when there was all this ash I was showing, Abby?
Yes.
So what did he tell you to
There we
do?
use that one that he said is we are going to press Control A before we
Okay,
understand that. Yes.
and then do what?
Here. So that that ash, so that it can show the this thing, so that it will be able to show us the the birth, we cannot see the birth date, and the high date.
Yeah, I understand. So what
The
did he
higher
tell you
date.
to do? What did he tell you to do to see it?
So that's what I'm asking. I don't know what to do. They said we should press Alt plus H plus O plus I. So I don't understand that piece very well.
Okay, let's try it out.
Yes.
Alt plus H
Plus H plus O plus I.
plus I.
Yes.
I can't see anything. Alt.
Yeah, sorry, I had some issue, Jerry. Just my stuff went off.
So what he's telling you to do is just for you to be able to expand the columns.
Stuff went off. I'm very sorry, please. I'm very sorry, everyone.
Yeah, no problem. It was asking question on when you told them to do what's it called? Control H, O, and
okay,
I.
the alt. Oh, okay, yeah.
Expand the columns.
Expand the columns.
So the reason why this
match
are
the value
showing there is because the columns are small, right? And we need to just expand it a little, right? So that we can see everything that we have there clearly. So there might be situations whereby you might have plenty of columns like that, and you don't want to be going there one by one. Do you understand what we are doing now? You don't want to be going there one by one to be expanding this one, you expand this one, you go. You can just highlight everything, right? Just like this, and just press Alt, H, O, and I. Oh, sorry. Let me do it again. Right? Alt, H, O, and I. Oh, why is it not working for me? Am I not correct?
Yes.
H, O, and I now. You see?
Yes.
It has expanded. So what's the next question?
That I think I can get that one now.
Okay. Any other person? Any question? Find and replace. Is it clear to you? It should be one of the simplest things to do in Excel.
So if you can still go back and just explain a little bit concerning that find and replace again, Sha.
Which part is not clear to you?
Yes.
I can go over again.
Hello?
I can go over it again. That's no problem.
Okay,
yes,
you can continue.
All right. Let me go over it again. So
yes. Thank you.
okay. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so the beautiful thing, the one thing about find and replace, let me make an example. So prevention, you're a teacher in a school, and you are making an entry for students, and there are in your class there is a set of twins, maybe Ajibade Kenny and Ajibade Taiwo, and when you're recording it, you've by mistake for this particular course or for this particular test, you've omitted writing Taiwo's name in all the tests carried out for that particular day. And let's imagine there are over 20 sheets of the amount of tests they have carried out for that particular day. And all those records, maybe you have give or take about 50 students, but you have multiple sheets. You have another sheet. 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 And all of them are all carrying their names. And you've made this error. And you can be able to start going down and changing it one after the other. But you do not actually understand, you do not actually know, okay, whether it's only that Ajibade names you've made mistakes on, or there are others. So find and replace allows you to select the particular one you want to check, and allows Excel to go through all your records, every place you've actually putting a record, it checks it and ensure that, okay, let me look through all these names you have and find out where there's Ajibade. And if there's Ajibade, first show me where it is. You can say that, okay, let's imagine that in particular, well, this is our test stuff. Now you can see that the first one is Greta Badeli. Second one is Sadipuma, Fumi Ada, Ekel Kaplan, Lim Michel. This is okay. Let's imagine that, okay, we have this. Let me make it easier for us to understand. And I press Ctrl C. I go here, I press Ctrl V, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. I go here, Ctrl V. I go here, and I just hit this thing over and over again. And you can see that this is over 447 records.
Taking all your attention. Better know it well.
Imagine for this Fumi Ada, we made a mistake in Fumi Ada. It's not her name is no longer Fumi Ada. Her name currently for this decision she has gotten married, and her name is no longer Fumi Ada. Her name is now Fumi Adebayo. So now, if I go here and I check Fumi Adebayo, I'm not the one that wrote this, that entered this data. So it means that Fumi like this now, I have to start going, okay, I have to start doing this thing row by row, looking for Fumi Ada, changing everywhere I see Fumi Ada, Fumi Adebayo. How long do you think it's going to take me, please? You are free to answer, please. How long do you think it's going to take me for me to start going
very long.
row by row? It's going to be very long.
Forever.
And do you understand? And this is just 247. Let's imagine that the data is 500,000. 500,000. And Fumi Ada has made transactions with us for many times. So it means that I have to start going one after the other and changing it. And the problem is that, okay, let's imagine I've been doing this thing for the past 30 minutes. Does it mean that the same way I am very, very alert to this thing is going to be alert after 30 minutes? Sometimes won't sleep just take me away and I will just make mistakes. Instead of me writing Adebayo, I can just decide to just write Adebayo. You know, there's a difference between Fumi Adebayo and Fumi Adebayo. Do you get me now? Yeah. So now, with find and replace, okay, let's go back to Ada. Find and replace. All I need to do is to just check my Control H. For those of us that I just decide that, okay, anywhere there is Fumi Ada, to change it to Fumi
Adebayo.
Yes. And like I said, it's best for us to first find all. We basically know what Excel is trying to change, because Excel is not smart. If there's maybe someone with another person that currently bears that same name, but we don't want to change it, so it's best for us to just find all and scroll through. You can see that there are four options for us to change it, and it also tells us which particular cell it is in. And from this, we can be able to highlight it and just check. You can see that Fumi Ada. With Excel can let us know that this is the number of changes we are going to do. Because if we are doing it row by row, we don't know that, okay, all these things we are checking, we're just trying to change it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times only. But if we are doing row by row, it can take us 1 hour for just 6 changes. Do you get now?
Yes.
If you don't understand, I can take it again. I can take another example and explain it again if you don't understand.
Yes.
Do you get now? So it's all about making it easier. There are manual ways of you doing anything in Excel. All this we are doing in Excel using shortcuts. There are manual ways. But if you want to work faster, you want to work smarter without spending 2 hours on a task, it is best for us to leverage all these easy to do click options that Excel provides us. Because Excel, like I said, Excel is the first no code before no code became popular. It allows us to make all these changes we could have done manually or trying to do manually or trying to spend 30, 40, 2 hours on. We can just do it by just using find and replace. And once we take it and say that, okay, these are all the changes we want to do, we just do replace all. And it's going to tell us that it has made 6 replacements. So if I go here and I press Control F, which is our find, and I check for Fumi Ada, and I said find all, it's not going to see anything because it has successfully changed everything. Do you get now?
Yes.
So that is the beauty of some of the Excel functionalities that we can leverage on, such as find and replace. It's best for us to understand this part and understand the reason why it helps us. So in data, it is very, very important for us to use all this thing, because when I made that changes in which I changed Fumi Ada to Fumi Adebayo, that had made errors in the spelling. Like now, if I should decide that, okay, I want to change Fumi Adebayo, I go to replace, I want to change Fumi Adebayo to Fumi Akonde, and I make mistake to Fumi Akonde, and I said, okay, find all, and I said you should replace all. If you notice, all the changes I made is going to be only one value that I made error with, which is the Fumi Akonde. There's not going to be Fumi Akonde, Fumi Akondai. It's just one place I made this error, which is my find and replace. And I just need to just go back here, highlight this place, change it here, and change it back to whatever I want to, which is Fumi Akonde. I check, find all, it's going to be 6. I replace all, it means everything back. My data integrity being maintained by using all this functionality without having to do it manually, which in the end, manual changes also breed error because we are humans. Do you get now? So those are the kind of information we should leverage for us to ensure that our data integrity, it is maintained. So back to what I was trying to explain. I was trying to explain how we can hide rows. And let's imagine I include this also. I hide this. If I want to unhide everything, I just click everything, I just highlight and I click on hide, and it unhides everything. If I do the same for my columns, I can do the same thing for my rows. I can click here, hide it. I can do this thing, and I can just click on hide. And it should bring it back again. Yes. So the reason why some people we leverage this on hiding is that, let's imagine that we are trying to send this sheet to customers or to other people to check, and we don't want to. And one thing about data is that there are some data for people that you do not allow to. You have to do what they call data privacy, and some of all these things you have to leverage. You have to ensure that, okay, even though you are sending the sheet, you have to protect some of all those things from everyone having access to it. So that's why we leverage this hiding function. We can hide it and hide everything. We can decide that, okay, maybe we want to hide only the higher dates. We don't want to, but we want to become like this. Now we can just highlight everything, proceed, and send it to the person. Or we want to send the entire sheet, we can hide it. So I won't touch it now, but it allows us, we can also use this, we can use functionality to also ensure that, okay, even anything we've hid, the person will actually need to get access to view it, either by asking for the password for the person to use to access it. Those are kind of stuff. This functionality helps us allows us to protect some of the columns, some of the records we're trying to keep out of prying eyes without having to delete them. So without even deleting them, we can also just hide them out of view and work on them. Do you get now?
Yes.
So those are kind of functionalities Excel allows us to do. So those are some of the things. So I hope I've covered most of the topic.
Yes.
Sorry, I have a question. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I thought I heard my
Okay.
Okay, don't worry, continue.
I can't hear you.
Okay. All right. So, sorry, I was asking the question earlier before I was logged off. So my question is, can you hide every other row and column aside your data set? Like you just want
Everything.
only your data sets to show?
Yeah, you can, but I do not see why you should, because if you're going to hide everything, it's just so much. Because if you have
No,
1
I
million
don't mean everything. I mean, like, okay, for instance, now from your screen, like, can you please hide from the I column like all the, or from the H, if you choose, all the way from the H column to your right, H, I just hide all of that.
It's doable. So this is what you're going to make. This is what you're going to say. And if you decide that you want to hide everything from, can you see my screen?
I can see it, sir.
Decide that you want to hide this.
Now
also.
that you've hidden that,
This is what
can
you're
you
going to
please,
see. Yeah.
yes, sir, can you please scroll under to the last data on your set?
Yeah, this is going to be. That's going to be blank also.
I get that, sir. Now I want you to also hide the unfilled columns under your data set. Oh, okay. How did you? I tried to do mine. I couldn't hide the rows and column under my data set.
Okay, let me.
Did you get my question, sir?
Yeah, I'm trying to hide.
Thank you, sir.
So once I get here, I just do Control Shift down because it did everything, because you have to hide everything. You say you want to hide everything, Abi? So you have to do Control Shift down and it highlights everything at the bottom. So you hover to any of them and you just click on hide. It hits everything. Hid everything. Yeah. You get now? Hello?
Please,
Yeah.
please come again with the shortcut.
Said once you get to two, like let's imagine I'm on 227. This is my last data set, my last data entry. Yeah, I go to 248. Like I said before, I said that if you want to automatically scroll down, and when you are scrolling, you want to highlight everything. You either use your shift and your arrow keys. If you want to go down while highlighting, you can hold your shift key. Don't do this one by one. Get the shift down.
Yes, sir.
But if I want to go down to the end, I hold my Control Shift, then press my down key. You can see that the maximum at the moment for this thing is just over 1 million rows. You get now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So once I get there, I can just go over to any of these columns, any of these rows, and just click on hide. It automatically hides everything that I've highlighted. It hides everything I've highlighted. Do you get now?
Okay. So can you now hide from the F column, please?
Okay, from the
F
F column.
Yeah. Or sorry, from the H
same thing I
column.
did. Control. If the H column, I can just leverage something I told you about, which is Control Shift. Since I'm going to the right, I'll just hold on to my right, which is my greater than, which is my direction key. My direction keys. I just hold it, and it automatically takes me to the end, which is my XFD, which is the highest at the moment on my listen. And I can just highlight. I can just go back to any of those columns and just click on hide. It hides everything. Do you get now?
Okay. Yeah, I can see that now. I'm just trying to practice it on my.
Yeah. So you just leverage the keys, so it makes it very, very fast. Just hold the Control and the Shift. Then you can just either use your left or your right, depending on the direction you want to go.
Thank you. It has actually worked out here. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the question. So we're going towards deleting, and deleting is very straightforward. You just need to highlight the column you want to delete, whether it's E or F. The same way I just said, you just highlight it and you right click and you click on delete. You just delete it. You have to notice that immediately I deleted the F, it doesn't move from E to G. It replaces it with an empty column again. Or he didn't delete the column per se, he just deleted all the values in that column and replaces the column with an empty column. Do you get now?
Yeah.
Am I clear with that? Let me take it.
Yes.
So if I'm trying to delete my E and I click on delete, delete it and replace it, returns another E column for me. Do you get now? So
Yes, sir.
that is the beauty of it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go, yeah. Your question?
Okay. Why is it like that? Bringing another E again.
Yeah, one thing about Excel is that, okay, if I should delete everything, let me show you what I'm talking about. If I should delete everything, you have to understand that Excel is from A to XMD. That is how it's meant to. That is how it's meant to be. So even if you open a new sheet, all you're trying to all these values you are entering here, you are entering it in cells. You are just entering. You're just placing your value on it. Do you understand? You are placing your value, anything you are writing on it. The cell is unchanged. No matter what you are doing, you're not changing anything. You're just placing your values on it. It doesn't alter the code behind that cell. You're just placing your value. You're just placing a variable on it. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
So the number of cells remain unchanged with respect to the back end of Excel. Do you understand? These cells that you're looking at are the back end of Excel. So whatever you are placing, you're just placing it on it. It's sitting as a placeholder for that particular cell. So whatever when you're referencing it, if I put a name Sharon here, okay. I call here and I'm trying to get Sharon. I cannot call Sharon here because Sharon is just a placeholder on this cell. If I want to get to what is on this particular cell, I have to reference it. Okay, I have to reference A2. I call A2. This is going to tell me what is the placeholder on A2. Do you get me now?
Yes.
So whatever you put on it is just
sir.
acting as a placeholder. It doesn't affect the back end of Excel. Excel is still sees it as, okay, this is the number of cells, this is the number of columns. So no matter you delete it, it always replicates it back. Because that is how it's meant to connect to that particular cell. You're just putting a placeholder, you're just putting a value on top of it. Do you get me now?
Yes, sir.
So that is what I'm trying to say. It's just like, well, if you're let me look for a fitting example. Let me look for a fitting example. So if you write something on a sheet of paper, if you write something on the sheet of paper, it doesn't change the fact that you wrote it on the sheet of paper. Whatever you drew on it does not change the fact that it is lying on top of the sheet of paper. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
or should I
sir,
use another example? So whatever you're trying to do, you are placing it on that cell. So the cell remains unchanged. So if I should clear, let me show what I'm trying to say. So if I should clear this Sharon, so that the cell remains unchanged, like I've done nothing to it. So let me try to change the color of these things to, let's say, gray. Let me change the color of this to gray. I decided, okay, I want to write this thing in green. Yet. So if I should here and I clean this thing, it doesn't change the color of this cell. Because whatever I do on it, it doesn't change the current situation of the cell. I'm just placing it on it. So if I should come here and I change it back to white, it is as if I go here and I change it back to white, as if I did nothing to it. Do you get now?
Yes.
It's as if I did nothing to it. So if I should go here and I click on here, okay, let me do what I did last time. I go here and I click on delete. You can see that it's still back? Just deleted everything I've done on it. Any value, any placeholder, or any action I've placed on that cell, it deletes it, but it does not delete the cell itself. Do you get me now?
Yes.
Yeah, so any action you do, the delete this thing is just an action. So you are deleting the value, but not the cell itself.
Not the cell itself. Wow. The cell remain changed.
Yes. What is it?
The cell remain unchanged.
Yes. Yeah, like you can see that this is F9. This is here. So no matter what you do, it's still gonna be 11 here. Even if I write, this way, still L11. There are other ways for us to work on this also. If you want it to, now I can decide that, okay, I want this cell now, this particular cell. This particular cell, a Buddha to be called Buddha. So I go here, instead of calling L11, I can just call Buddha. I can just call goes to Buddha. I'm going to show Buddha. Those are some innate ways some data analysts use to reference their cell. So even if you are calling from another place, from another sheet, you can always reference it. But we're going to go over these other examples, but I'm just trying to let you know that there are other ways for you to change it. So if you don't want it to be showing P7, just change it to Olani. Any place, anywhere you come here, you can just put it equals to and you call Olani, he's going to call. You understand?
Yes.
So if you have sales revenue and you want to be able to call that, be able to call that cell anywhere you want, in any part, any sheet you want it to have its own unique name. Instead of making an arbitrary name, you can just name it. You can just name it here. This is your cell name. You can see that the options names I've named. These are my custom names already. Buddha, Olani. So going forward, I'm going to expatiate on some of all those things. So I hope I've not rambled all through today, and some of us have gained something.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
I'm very
sir,
sorry for my network.
sorry, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
I still have a question, sir. Please, sir,
go ahead, sure.
on hiding the cell, I'm stuck at on hiding the cell, sir. How did you do that, sir?
Yeah, so one thing you have to emphasize is that you have to use your Control A. You have to highlight everything and just highlight everything.
Okay.
If I should hide this, you just walk with me here. If I hide these two columns, what I need to do is to just do Control A, which is my Control All here, and just click on hide. I just click on hide. So if it's a column, you have to highlight, you have to stick on this. You have to click on the column itself. If it's a row, you have to click on the row. Yeah. So if you are doing it on the cell, it's not going to work. You have to click on. You get? Does it work now?
Okay. So I'm trying to actually do that right now.
Yeah, you have to Control A and highlight everything, and just right click. Just put your cursor
Okay.
on.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for coming to. Yeah, Gbenga, you can take it off.
Everyone, thank you for joining today's class. And thank you so much, Chukwudeko, for dedicating your time. I know you have personal stuff that you want to do. Thank you so much.